to keep your pets safe while traveling this summer. Plus, we're going to tell you how you can adopt a little puppy like this little guy.
Oh my gosh.
It could be a gal. Is it a gal?
Gal or girl?
Gal or girl?
Gal guy.
It's a
Guy?
Okay. All right, before the kids head back to school, you might want to hit the road and go on vacation, but it's really important to think about your little furry friends too. So joining us now to talk about travel safety tips for your pet is Dr. Tony Kremer from Kremer Veterinary Services. Good morning.
Good morning. How you doing?
Thanks for coming in and chatting with us today.
No problem. Thanks for having me on.
So, what would you say is the most common mistake that people make when they're traveling with their pets?
You know, we finally have some great weather in Chicago. People are hitting the road, and isn't it great if you can bring your little furry friend along, right?
Always.
But a lot of times, I think the biggest mistake people have is they're not prepared. They're going to take a longer trip with a pet that just isn't used to it.
Oh, okay.
And so it's something that we need to be aware of safety issues and things that we can make it better for our pet to travel along with us.
So you got to be prepared.
Yes.
What are some must-haves if you're traveling with your pet?
So I brought a bunch of things we should talk about here. And let's just start with the fact that when we have a dog in the car with us, a lot of people just let them run loose. I'm guilty of that. I'm going to make an effort here now that I see some great ideas for strapping them in. You know, 30 years ago, we had cars without even having seatbelts in. We wouldn't even think of that today.
Right.
I think that's how it'll be eventually with our pets. In an accident, a pet can become a 65-mile-an-hour projectile, injure us, of course, injure them. So having them strapped into some type of seatbelt is a really, really good idea.
Yes, I have a seatbelt for my dog, and it has been so helpful, even just to keep them from moving around when you're in the car,
It really does
right?
help, and I have a little vest that they can line up. I think this is a super cushy
like a
little thing.
Seatbelt chair?
Exactly.
Oh my goodness.
They're high enough they can look out the
almost.
window. That might even reduce their anxiety, being able to see out the window and be a little higher. And that kind of brings us to the next thing: is dogs that get anxious and car sick. Sometimes if they're just not used to these long rides, I tell people, take them on shorter rides, get them used to taking a ride around the block and coming home. But if that's really a problem that they do vomit, they drool, if they're panting, there are some great things out there to use. And you can start with some natural things like lavender on a blanket. Sometimes that's calming. There's some calming herbs. But
within the blanket?
Yeah, you just kind of rub it on there, and that seems to help. But if that doesn't cut it, if something homeopathic isn't going to work, veterinarians now have Serenia, which is a great shot or a pill you can give the pet that really cuts down motion sickness almost to nothing.
That will help you and your car seats, right? Okay, what about
and then
over here?
And then we talk about being prepared. So this is the extra prepared. If you're going to go on a long trip, you want to make sure that you have some collapsible bowls. This is a nice little water bowl here that you can give your dog its own water out of a water bottle.
Oh, that's great.
Having their leash, making sure you bring your medical records that show when you've gotten your shots, just in case you'd have to prove that, or if you had a problem where you had to go to a veterinarian. Also, their medications, and even a nice pet first aid kit is nice. They make them up there. We've got one that's a really nice example of that. It has some just basic bandages in there and some things that you just might need on the road, which might be hard to find, you know, at a Walgreens or something that's made for a pet.
I never considered that. What a great idea. All right, what else?
And then the summertime is here, and we're doing more hiking and things, and people worry about fleas and ticks on their pets.
Yes.
That's something that nowadays just shouldn't even happen. We have such great medications for that. This Bravecto is something you give your dog 4 times a year. It's a little treat. They chew that up every 3 months, and they will never, ever get fleas or ticks. And with all the rain we had in the spring, ticks are going to be really bad this year. They spread a lot of different diseases like Lyme disease and whatnot. And so it's something that if you don't have your pet on a flea and tick control, really think about it, because it's something that nowadays just absolutely is so easy to prevent.
Sounds just about essential, actually. And then, is this a puppy raincoat?
This is a raincoat. If they're going to be out on the trail, you know, there's some things you can do to be a little extra protection. So a puppy raincoat is, you know, just an idea for having them be a little bit more comfortable and not get soaked out there. And the last thing I have down here is something that people think that all dogs can swim, and that is a misnomer. There are some dogs that actually little short-nosed, smaller, fluffy breeds that sink really fast.
They might struggle a little bit.
And so having a little, if you're going to have them on a boat, if you're going to be out around a lake or something, think about getting them used to having some type of life jacket on it.
Life jacket.
Because it only takes a second for them to fall off a boat and to have a tragedy. So
and I hear that if you don't have a dog already, we might have a dog here that's up for adoption.
We've got you covered there too.
Dreaming of having a dog. Who do we have here?
This is Jason. Jason is a little puppy from Help Save Pets, the humane society that we run out of our hospital in Old Town. And his 2 sisters have been adopted.
He's so sweet.
And he's all alone and needs a home.
Oh, well, if you want Jason or any other dogs like this one, you can visit animalcareinfo.com or drtony.com for more information. So much cuteness. Felicia, over to you.